Okay, we're recording. Good evening, everyone. We'll call the Fire Station Building Committee meeting of Monday, April 22nd to order at 5:30. Those in attendance, Kevin, Tim, Dennis, Lisa, and Nate, Paul. We still have no attendance from our two fire department representatives. And I guess since I brought that up, why don't we have a discussion about that? Since the committee is the commissioners, I would like to make a recommendation that we replace those two.
Second.
Any
How do you
discussion?
do,
How do you do that? Do you have volunteers?
How do you do that then?
They're not attending the meetings, they're giving us no input, they're abstaining from votes. The commissioners, we're their committee, they can appoint whoever they want.
Right, and they can rule what they want.
Right,
But
exactly.
What's the replacement?
So
That's my only, because I agree with what you're saying.
Can't be any worse than what we got.
right.
So
I agree there, and I think one potential issue is, quorum. If those two individuals are officially on the committee, then we could end up in a situation where, we're always at least, two short.
Two people
so
down.
if people are out, and if they were removed, that would open up spots for any other firefighters or TNFD personnel who may be interested.
We're short a resident too, aren't we?
I think we're one Tilton shy.
Yes.
You're Tilton, Northfield. Yeah, we're one Tilton shy. And I don't know if the commissioners have been querying the public to see if anybody wants to be on this
full
committee.
until you got elected commissioner, and then
But it was in the Northfield newsletter, still looking
Yeah,
for, so.
Yeah.
but I mean, that's not, doesn't get to Tilton.
and I know.
I mean, there are some residents who subscribe to it, but
You had brought that up at a previous meeting,
Mhm.
and the chiefs responded with, he had mentioned that, or brought it up with the firefighters, and they were, I guess, I'm not sure the exact wordage, but they were interested in, if we were gonna talk about the program, the building,
Right.
but all this other stuff.
Is irrelevant to them. Well, all I can say is it's a good thing we sent Matt Ozier to Minnesota to go to the week-long seminar on this process, because you see no Matt Ozier.
We didn't get anything out of that, did we?
No, because John Silly was the second representative from the district.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, so what the chief said was, those two firefighters have no desire to be involved in this portion of it. They want to be around for the load up at the end. Well, so do we. I mean, that's,
It's like wanting to, you want to eat the donuts, but you don't want to make them.
I mean, maybe we could request that, the commissioners change them to non-voting members like the chief. So that way they can give
Why
input
bother?
if
they can provide input as residents. We need committee members. We need people here that are willing to discuss the issues and help us get to a resolution.
Do they have to be residents of the
No.
district?
No, they don't.
I think they do.
No,
well, they have to,
not the firefighter representatives,
Oh, no,
just those.
Well, right.
it can be any, because
Number.
Derek doesn't have
Correct.
it, lives in
No,
Salem.
yeah.
So,
can it be,
no, that's the
but they do have to
employee.
be a TNFD employee, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so it's not
And
like
one-
you can get
one-
out-of-town firefighters.
One call, one career.
Right,
That's the only requirements, right?
right. That's correct.
But it's not like you have thousands or hundreds of people to choose from. Our department is.
No, and you have to have someone that's
But we
willing.
would like to have somebody that wants to attend, yes.
So, I guess how I see it playing out is, because again, this is the commissioners' committee, if they decide to remove those two people from this committee, then we post at the fire department 2 openings. And if somebody signs up for it and comes to the meetings, great. If they don't, then we haven't lost anything.
Did they originally sign up or were they assigned by the fire
I think-
department?
I don't.
I believe
think
they
they-
volunteered.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
But who knows
volunteered what was
what
asked to
that
do it.
means, right? You know?
Voluntold and volunteered.
Exactly.
Never heard that.
Somebody took that.
I felt voluntold.
So,
If you're in the service, you
Okay, I will bring that up at tomorrow's meeting.
well, do we have a consensus here?
Yeah, I mean, we're not, it's relative to those two positions, we're just spinning our wheels.
Right, we're not upsetting the apple cart
No.
because they're not on the apple
No.
cart.
Yeah.
Right, there you go.
Okay,
It fell off a little while ago.
so if, yeah, Tim, if you don't mind addressing it tomorrow night, I appreciate it. Let's do the minutes before we forget. Has everybody read the minutes from March 11th?
We moved the minutes from March 11th.
I second it. Any discussion, corrections, changes? All those in favor of accepting the March 11th minutes as written? signify by
Aye.
saying Aye. Aye. Unanimous.
Well, I
Okay,
wasn't there, so I
Almost.
can't vote.
good, thank
I
you.
abstained, how's that?
Yep, perfect. Just don't make a habit of it.
I'll try not to.
Okay, so on, we don't have a formal agenda. What we talked about last meeting was reviewing the final survey and giving our recommendation to the Board of Commissioners, and then reviewing the space needs, continuing on that. So, is there any, yeah,
We saw this at our last commissioners meeting,
yep,
and we reviewed it, there was some discussion. Commissioner Ogier questioned the demographic information, so that led to a little bit of discussion. But generally speaking, I would say the commissioners were pleased with the,
What did you say, OSHA?
yeah.
What was his,
He wondered if we needed to know, like, your level of education and your household income.
well, remember, we
And
had that discussion
Yes.
with Sean.
Yeah, and we shared that kind of, and then, you know, and then that led into, well, is this anonymous, or, and then that conversation about whether it was confidential or anonymous. And then the fact that it does note it here, if you read through the intro, that you don't have to answer any question you're uncomfortable with.
Exactly.
So once we had a lively conversation, and I think generally speaking, we were pleased with the document.
But you have not released it to UNH for
We did not.
distribution.
My suggestion, which was agreed upon, was to let you, this committee, review it, because we saw it first, or should have come to you first, and
Well,
then,
we did get it by email, I think.
yes. And so it's an agenda item tomorrow, based on
Great.
whatever feedback the committee wants me to bring back.
So I think we should just start from the top and work our way down. I noticed that a word is missing in the fourth paragraph. If have any questions or concerns, please contact Chief Michael Sitar.
So you want to say if you have any?
Yeah. And I think we probably want someone to have like a master copy.
Tim is going to take care of this.
Okay, great.
is that, pay attention, pay
I am,
attention.
I am.
He was voluntold.
Okay. Is there anything else?
I missed that.
I didn't notice any other typos in the opening paragraph.
I thought we had discussed also that Sean's contact information would be on there, as well as the chief's.
I believe we did. I thought
It's in the minutes.
there was something.
Sure.
Paul commented that he would like to keep Sean's contact information on the survey for residents to reach out with questions because it makes it clear that the survey is done by UNH. The verbiage of that section has changed. Sean's contact information and the chief's will remain on the survey. So we need to, in that same paragraph, we need to include Sean's contact.
Sean actually said, I thought he mentioned that too about keeping it on there himself. I thought he actually brought that up.
It adds, some separation, so people may
Right.
not get the feeling that, it's something that the fire district is forcing on them.
The original one had it.
Yes, it did.
Said if you have technical difficulties or have trouble, because I just noticed in your thing, you said, what if somebody mentioned somebody might be blind, how would they take the survey? And it said they could call. So that shrunk quite a bit. I missed obviously a few meetings,
Yeah, what's up with that?
but I don't know. But it's gonna continue every winter, I'll tell you that.
Whatever it was, I'm gonna do it
Sorry,
again.
whatever it is.
And that seems to happen. I remember my folks went out for 3 weeks, then it was 2 months,
Yeah.
then it was 4 months, and then
Yeah.
6 months.
I never understood it till I got old.
I think it was a new address.
When the bones start hurting, it's time to fly south.
I had to bail last week because my sister just sold her house in Guilford and moved to Denver, North Carolina, so it seems to be a disease that's spreading. She said the happiest day of her life was when she sold her snowblower.
I know, I'd love to do that. My plow, I'm just
Does anyone have any issues with question 1 or question 2?
Has this changed since we went over it last?
It should
It
not,
should
but
have.
we see in that paragraph
Something
4
got
that it
left out.
has. Right.
Well, it changed since the last one that I was here, which was not the previous one. We dropped some of the questions out.
Yeah, we
Yeah, we mingled, merged, or whatever you wanna call it.
Yeah, we combined a couple of the
questions,
ranking lists.
question 7
Yeah.
and 8 got shuffled around. One of them was determined
shrinking it to these 3 pages.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
When I read it without going back, I thought it looked good.
Okay, question 3, 4.
I did notice throughout the survey, we keep switching the words station and facility. Did you
I thought we
notice that?
fixed that.
The terminology.
That's one of the things we,
I thought we fixed that.
Well, when you have, look at 6, it talks about facility.
5
Well, I
is facility.
think
Here, station,
One
station.
issue would be the names are Center Street Station and Park Street Station, but then we're referring to the buildings as facilities when we're not using the actual name.
What I see in general terms is, what we have now is called stations, and what we're asking for in the future is called facilities. And I don't know if that's good or not, we can,
Just something I noticed, I don't want to change. I mean, we've gotten so
well,
far.
do you think
at
it's
this point.
confusing?
I hope not, but
I mean, I guess it's no more confusing than, people referring to Park Street as a station when, what's the definition of a station? If it's a
Well,
building that
that-
has equipment, it's a station, but if it's
Their
a,
interpretation, I guess,
Right.
is,
right,
Well, words have so many meanings nowadays,
So we want to
it's fine.
unify on station everywhere, or
Well,
leave it as it is?
Well, I think it's hard
is
to
it
do.
important? What is it, how important is it?
Right.
I mean, I know.
Maybe they're interchangeable.
That's on, yeah,
They-
because a
they
station
should
is
be.
a facility,
Right,
and a facility is a station. They're the same, they spell differently.
He may have kept the facility down there at 6 simply because, I mean, not necessarily for question 5 in the question, but within the answers on 6, we put fires. I don't know if the spacing will be to add like another, because when you separate it, you might have, it just takes a little bit more room. I don't know. 'Cause
But when you look at the wording in question 7, it says, please rank the following options for the Tilton Northfield Fire Department facilities. And then when you get into the actual questions, it says Park Street Station, Center Street
until you get
Station.
to F.
Yeah, or even D, but no living facilities. I'd leave it alone.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna-
yeah,
I'm
well,
gonna
because they,
read-
they also say headquarters station in Sanborn Road, so they are
Well,
kind
there
of
is a
just
difference
using it.
between
Headquarters.
headquarters,
Yeah. and
But they don't say
station.
headquarters facility, which
Oh, it
would
says
be in
station.
line with what they had been,
Is everybody fine with just
Yeah.
leaving it?
yep,
I would
totally
leave
fine.
it.
Okay, how about question 8? Nine,
I'm really interested in number 8.
you're interested?
In number 8, I mean, well, you take F from number 7,
Right,
make no changes.
and then 8
Eight.
is, why
Why?
would you make no changes?
It doesn't compute with me that, I mean, I was told many will choose F on 7.
Well,
I
it
don't-
would be nice to know why they're unwilling
Yeah,
to support anything.
I
You know,
think it informs how we combat that lack of support, you know? Oh, do we try to make it cheaper? Do we come up with alternative options, you
So
know?
the more people who answer number 7 with F, the more important number 8 becomes.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's
I
right.
think so. Yeah.
if they all say
You're right.
they don't feel facilities are needed, that's different than they don't like any of the options.
Okay, 9, ten,
So for 10, so C says Center Street Station is not ADA compliant. Is Park Street Station ADA compliant?
doesn't need to be,
No.
because it's not
Because it's not open to the public.
correct,
Okay, all right.
and there's no one
It's also
living
a
there.
single story too, I mean, trying to, yeah, there's no real facilities to use.
But even if you
Talking about
did, you
different-
can get in,
You can get
there's
in,
no
you got
stairs.
4 bay doors.
It's one level,
Yeah.
right? There's no,
Getting in is not our part.
Yeah, but no, it's,
And then
there
once
can
you're
be
in, it's hard
crazy
to-
things like, oh, you have to have specific doorways or like door handles or, you know, door widths, you know, the
oh,
ramp's not good enough.
that's all part of ADA.
Right.
What makes no sense to me is that if you have second floor and it's not open to the public, they tell me it still has to be ADA.
Well, I guess in the situation with the Center Street Station, if you're a member of the public and have to go up to talk to the chief or to Kathy or whatever,
That's a huge
your only
thing.
way up there is through the stairs.
Right, but in any other situation where, for example, their living quarters, sleeping quarters, if that's on the second floor,
Why does it need to be ADA compliant?
and that's, I've questioned that
Valid
ever
point.
and ever, and
No comment.
there's no,
Well, the firefighters whose wife is in a wheelchair needs to
What does
be
she
able to
need to,
visit.
why does she need to be upstairs?
Or the cleaning person. can
I,
make
I'd
it
worry about the
or-
firefighter that's in a wheelchair.
I'd worry about that
And
too.
exactly,
Right, kind of prerequisite of the job is that you're not.
right.
Exactly.
I mean,
Right.
Okay, question 10? Eleven, twelve,
12.
yeah,
You can only go once each year.
right.
Well, so I think,
could be annual,
Over the
I can
past
choose which
10
years I
years,
go, I
right.
mean,
well, because there's
You go every
district
year?
meetings, like, I guess they're considering like this and the commissioners'
No,
meetings.
no, district meetings.
That's the annual meeting, the way I read it.
Yeah.
Is that the end?
Yes.
You
Oh,
can't,
so maybe
you
we should
can't
say
go
the annual
sometimes,
district
or-
meeting.
Well,
Well, yes, it is. Over the
if-
past 10 years, I've gone
Right.
sometimes. I didn't go
Right,
when
right.
I was away,
okay,
right?
Right.
But I think maybe
Exactly.
before the board,
put that way, I get it.
right, but I think maybe we put annual in front of it.
Well,
From the TNFD.
here's another problem with that question, honestly, is always is pretty much self-explanatory. Often may mean something different to me than it does to you. Now, I don't think we need it to be in detail. You've been twice in the past 5 years or whatever. So, you know, if there were any concerns that I have with that, it would be just that my definition of often or sometimes may be different
So-
from yours.
Always and never are pretty self-explanatory.
Right,
I don't know what rarely, often, or sometimes it means to you.
right.
So should we rephrase
It doesn't
12?
matter.
So somebody who's lived in town for the last 50 years and they only go when there's a hot topic, is
That would be,
that rarely or
Rarely.
sometimes?
So it depends on the person.
right, right. But does it matter?
Right.
But
I don't
so
think it
what's the
needs to be
importance of that
precise.
question?
Well, the importance is, I think the importance is the level of engagement that the person filling out the survey has with the department, with the district. You know, are they, as Tim just described, do they go when there's,
I mean, for me
So
personally, if you sit on a committee and all this data comes back, and you've got 90% of the people say, don't do anything. And then you have 90% of the people never attend a district meeting. How much clout does that 90% have? You might as well just stick with the 10% and roll.
So maybe it makes sense to
You know what I'm
include a time range, like in the past
What-
5
what does-
years or
what-
in the
yeah,
past 10
I'm just saying,
years.
that's the importance.
I don't
And then we could do, you know,
You overcomplicate.
1 to 2.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's the thing you
Yeah.
do not want to do, is
Don't
make this.
overcomplicate.
Yeah,
Don't
personally,
overthink it, don't.
often and rarely, don't need to be in there as far as I'm concerned, but I don't believe we should change it at this point.
Yeah.
Because
Well-
they really don't mean, I mean, often, sometimes and rarely actually are,
That's
they're
interpretation.
interchangeable, really, yeah.
Well, I don't understand 98 either. Don't know. You don't know or you're not sure if you've ever.
Well,
attended.
as
But I know
Sean,
every
as
profession
Sean
has.
explained,
Yeah.
that's a
Yeah.
catch-all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that we know that that person read the
Read the
question
question, right.
and none of that other
I'm
stuff
I'm not
was.
sure what you
Right.
mean by district
Right.
meeting.
And they go, what's a district meeting?
So,
Right.
do you want to add the word annual in front of district meeting or not?
Yes.
Makes
How
sense.
often you typically attend?
But it says meetings, which is plural.
Yes.
Right.
Which is why I
So
thought
are
it
they-
referred
are they
to
talking
all
about
meetings
commissioners'
held
meetings? Because-
by the district.
Well, they
A
could be.
regular
You're
meeting
right.
of the commissioners
You're right, it is
is
confusing.
a
District meeting.
district meeting, because
It's just not the annual
it's
district.
not the annual meeting.
Well, I think my interpretation of the conversation was we were discussing the district meeting annual in March.
Right, and that's when the people would know to vote on this.
Right.
So do we
So if you're gonna,
hear
yeah,
about
I would,
the non-district meetings, or do
eating-
we just want to say it's the
eating.
district meeting?
meeting,
Maybe we should
It's
just
a-
drop the S on meetings and put annual, the annual district
Annual,
meeting.
annual defines it, right?
So
the
let's
an-
get rid of the
the
plural on
TNFD
meetings.
Annual district meeting, is that what you're gonna?
Yes, how often do you typically attend the annual Tilton Northfield Fire Department district meeting? So we're gonna add the and annual and get rid of the plural. Okay.
Should it be attend the annual TNFD meeting, given that
No,
TNFD stands for district?
no.
So
Tilton
TNFD district.
Northfield Fire District, the district meeting occurs in March it's no
Okay.
different than Town of
Town
Northfield
meeting.
town meeting.
So should it be the annual Tilton Northfield District meeting, or should it be the Tilton Northfield District annual district meeting? Does the annual,
TNFD annual district meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, wanna bust up district.
Yeah, right?
Okay, 13? Fourteen? Fifteen? Sixteen? Demographics 1, 2, well, for any of them, is there any issues with any of them?
I don't have an issue, given that people can fill in what they feel comfortable with.
Okay, so,
I do want to go back to 12, because there are are several instances where we reference the 10-year time frame in other questions. And I think it would make more sense if we asked, how often do you attend the annual district meeting over the past 10 years? And then we could go, always 2 to 3, 4 to 5, 6 to 7, 8 to 9, and then we
There's
get
only
more
one other
granular
place
info.
that I see that we reference 10 years, and it's in that question 14.
It's also in question 10.
Which one?
Question 10D talks about the 10-year time frame.
Well, that's just a fact that it's increased more than 50%.
That's
I just think
statistically
leaving
speaking.
it open-ended is vague. Because, if someone's been here 50 years and they've gone 10 times, they might say rarely, and someone who's been here,
Well, again,
5 years and has gone
that
twice
is
might
just to
say
put,
most of the time.
that's just to put context around their other answers. So, it's not that we're publishing a survey and that information has to be 100% accurate to the meeting. We're just trying to get a general idea of how informed and how engaged in the process are you.
Yeah, it's qualitative versus quantitative, whereas
Right.
the services is quantitative, like, how often.
Right.
I'm okay
Right, I'm
with
not
the way
filling
it
out a
is.
medical questionnaire for my doctor.
Right,
Yeah.
right, yeah.
You know,
So,
oh, I'm sorry.
no,
No, I'm saying, a big problem that I do have, I don't know where the hell we put it, but these people are gonna get mailed this, just like this.
yeah.
There is not one instruction about how to mail it back.
Right there, it's on the bottom of the.
Is it?
Okay,
Yeah, you just
thank you for
fold it and put it in
taking
the
the
mail.
time. Please fold the survey so the return address is
Oh, where's
clearly
it? Where did I see
displayed.
that?
Very end, very
In
end.
the bottom of the fold.
Yeah, okay.
After
But then you
question,
fold it so this is shown.
after the last
Under
question.
the About You section.
Very last page.
Okay, I guess I didn't read the whole thing. I looked at that and I don't, that's not what I looked at.
So you're part of the problem.
I'll tell you what, I've got new glasses coming in 2 weeks. I had my eyes checked. My eyes are like shot.
Okay,
Oh,
so,
So this,
I have
go-
one
It
more
is, it's my
comment.
first set of glasses. I mean, I've had readers
We
for-
talked about where it's
Actual
entirely
glasses.
voluntary. Should we bold that letter, that statement up in the first
I bet.
thing?
where is it?
Where it says your participation is entirely voluntary and you may decline to answer any question at any time. We all just talked about, well, if they don't want to answer it, they don't have to. But if you don't if you don't bold it, maybe people won't see it.
That's a fair.
I haven't seen it and it's not,
It's
so
here, it's on in the second paragraph, the
the
last.
survey should take about 10 minutes. Am I on the right page?
yes,
Survey conducted in conjunction with the University of Michigan. The survey center will receive and compile.
the last sentence.
It's after the underlined
Oh,
sentence.
Yeah, I would
I got no problem with that.
support bolding that entire sentence.
Yeah, and I wonder if
Okay.
that sentence should go before the survey center will receive and compile responses.
Well,
Either way, I just think that you need to point out, you don't have to answer it if you don't.
Well, I think that underlined sentence is there to help,
Emphasize.
well, and to,
Trying
relieve
to
you
show
of
impartiality.
any of your concerns, but if that's not enough, then the next sentence
Okay.
is, so you want the whole sentence bold?
Whole
I guess, I guess you're right, that, it is underlined. But your eye goes to the sentence that says that they're receiving and compiling it to ensure confidentiality. It doesn't, you can leave it alone. Because if we start bolding everything, then
Right. It becomes-
everything's,
I mean, hopefully they'll read it. I mean, when we're going through and you read the directions, some people.
I don't know, I'm a skim reader, I'll admit it.
Oh, yeah.
I do, I just jump right to
Yeah,
the,
and you know what?
I skim because
The
it's like,
thing
okay.
that stuck in my mind since we first met that guy was that he says, they did a survey and one of the questions was read the bottom and don't answer the first 5, right?
Yeah,
You know what I'm talking about?
yeah,
So that the people they don't read. They what's,
if I'm pushed for time, I'm just kind of like, oh yeah, this is what they want me to do.
I
So
think I
it's-
took a standardized test where it told you to read through the entire before, and then at the bottom it said something about, you know.
Like, don't bother with this.
Fully, everybody hands on the desk.
All the other people are.
Everybody else is busily working away.
Nate,
Question 10G, is contaminants spelled correctly, or is it the correct
10D.
verbiage of
G.
contaminants?
Carcinogens and contaminants.
Carcinogens,
Yes.
Gave
I
me-
think that's right.
contaminant, C-O-N-T-A-M.
Well, I think it's missing an M,
No,
N,
it
right?
should be A-N-T-S. Contaminant, right? Contaminant.
Contaminants?
Well, is
Oh, looks like-
contaminants
Google
a
it.
different word than
Yeah, it
contaminant?
is.
Google it, if you're doing it already.
That's a I think,
I don't know.
Should be ants at the end.
contaminants.
Contaminant. Come on.
I think that's
Come on.
right.
You think it is?
But I'm maybe wrong.
Contaminants, that's what I'm thinking, it's right.
There's no N in that before the T. Maybe I don't
Well,
know.
Well, what
Contaminated.
Contaminate.
What's supposed to mean contaminant, contamination?
It should be contaminants.
I don't think so. Is that what you're
Contaminants.
thinking?
And then hazardous contaminants. We,
Contaminates is different kinds of contaminants.
That's right.
So I would tend to think it may be right.
I don't know. I'm
Contaminant.
getting contaminants, the
A-N-T.
A-N-T-S,
Yeah.
contaminants.
I'm gonna ask.
We got contaminated, right?
No, so
But it keeps
So
So
you
thinking,
look at
you're
it-
looking for the noun, not the
Right,
verb.
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
right,
We've
it
got
just
to
keeps
go to the
thinking that
dictionary.
contaminant,
yeah,
safe drinking water defines contaminant as a physical, chemical, biological, or radiological substance, which I think that's what we're addressing in that
Well, we're looking for the noun. You're saying the noun is different?
Is A-N-T.
contaminant, yeah. So they talk about contaminant.
Okay, it's a verb, yeah.
Okay, so Tim, you can recommend that change as well. That's 10G.
Yeah, if we don't get the spelling
It's
right,
not
we'll
gonna
be all
change
over
how anyone
Facebook,
answers,
like, by
right?
the-
Yeah, I mean,
Because they're gonna sit down there, they're gonna think they know what it means, or they're gonna Google it. If they don't know what it means.
is this a?
I don't know, with all the Merriam-Webster employees I see on Facebook,
Okay, so, we got a plan. Tim's gonna address this tomorrow evening, and I assume you're gonna mail it out immediately?
Yes, that would be the whole, I would
Yes.
get it out there before summer. And
So this is a physical,
mailer.
What you see is what it's gonna be.
Yeah. so when the business reply mail, I get that. But anytime I've done something that is like this has to go in a sorter or through an overhead scanner.
I think they
It gets
manually
tossed
do them.
around and it comes out,
Well, it mentions to take this,
oh, it does.
yes.
Say, I didn't read it.
Yeah.
It's that last sentence at the bottom again.
Call me Dennis, I didn't read it. Are we sure?
Take
Oh, it
the
does say
survey
take it.
together.
Okay, all right, all right.
Ah,
Take
see,
it
yeah.
there and it's gonna get caught. That's what.
to miss stuff.
You know what,
Of course-
they've done this thousands of
Yeah,
times.
exactly.
Yeah, they
I
know what they're
remember
doing.
the biggest
I'm gonna duct
issue was
tape
she
mine into staples.
reiterated again.
I will say,
Yeah,
once you guys approve and say it's gonna send out, I mean,
they're gonna
frankly,
take care of it.
I plan on hitting like the social media sites and stuff to, you know, prompt people to be like, hey, you're gonna get this, don't
So,
Should we have
don't
to
file it in
now-
certain-
Please respond. right?
you know,
Should we have
take
the
the time.
town selectmen bring it up at like their meeting?
You know what?
Just
Nobody
to,
takes
like-
attention to those fools.
People watch the YouTube videos.
so it's gonna go out like
I
Town
know.
this.
employees.
Correct.
Residential customer.
Well, I'm not sure,
I thought we talked about who was gonna get it and who wasn't.
That's just a filler. They're gonna put your number, your name and
Yeah,
address in it.
that's gonna,
I
They're
don't
gonna
think so.
put the
It-
addresses.
it'll get
They're
to
not
everyone
gonna.
like
They're not.
that.
They're not
It
gonna put
will?
the name.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Are
it'll
we
all go to the
03077
post office and a big
is-
thing?
no, that
That
was
was-
Raymond.
I know,
we've already
Well,
discussed
Right, so
that.
they're
That
gonna change it,
Northfield's
right.
not gonna get it.
That's just a placeholder.
That's what I said, but he said no.
They're
No,
sending
this
one
is
to
That'll
each
get there, that'll get to
household
every
in each
residential
town.
customer.
In Raymond. Look at the zip code. Remember I mentioned this?
Tilton, New
With
Hampshire,
Sean?
030, oh.
And he said this was
So it's gonna
just
say
a
03276.
It's,
Yeah.
So you're concerned that.
A residential customer.
residents-
No,
Well,
it's gonna,
if he
it's gonna
says
have
that
an
the-
address.
They address it like this, everybody will get it. I don't
He,
believe that.
what,
Maybe.
what he said, if I recall correctly, is that every residential address will get one.
right. So
So
mine's gonna say
Say
resident,
resident,
56 Killington Road, Tilton.
Exactly.
Yours is gonna
Yeah.
say whatever your number
As-
is, Northfield, New Hampshire.
As I understand it, now, that might be something to,
I'm not sure that's correct.
Well, otherwise, how would they get delivered? This is,
The post office will, they will know how many to give
Every
the post
mailbox.
office, and the post office
They'll
will
stick
put
in
this
every
in every
mailbox.
single
So
residential mailbox.
when I first was plowing the snow in Laconia, Guilford, Belmont, I sent out cards. And they were addressed, residential customer, Guilford, New Hampshire, residential customer, Belmont, New Hampshire, residential customer.
Right, but if the post office sends it out to 03276, that is,
Everybody in L
I mean,
3276.
everybody
So,
in 03276.
Everybody, every mailbox in that zip code, not gonna get one of these, right?
They are, right?
Residential.
well, because even if it's like an apartment building, each apartment number is its own residence. So it would be, 55 Smith Road, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Unit, whatever.
But they're not gonna get, 2 for unit 1, 3 for unit 4, because there's a different number of adults, and they're not going to businesses, they're not going to PO boxes.
They have different zip codes.
Oh, that's a good question.
They have,
They have different zip codes.
Who?
Lockmere does?
Lockmere and
I
Winnisquam.
thought they had.
Lockmere and Winnisquam. The only problem with Winnisquam is Winnisquam really shouldn't, Winnisquam encompasses Sampson, Tilton, and Belmont.
Belmont.
So, but the post office
Wait,
is in Tilton.
So the
Again,
TNF,
that's,
the
the
Tilton
survey center
Northfield
should know.
Fire District contains towns that are not Tilton and Northfield?
No, they're villages, they're
They have their own,
Winnisquam, Lockmere, Tilton.
Tilton Northfield has 3 different zip codes.
Oh, I thought it just had the one shared zip code.
No, there's 3 zip codes in Tilton.
Winnisquam Post Office up on Route 3, Lockmere Post Office on Silver Lake Road, 03252.
Well, then that's important for them
yeah,
to know, right?
Sean, we have a few questions.
But there are residents that live on Route 3 that get their mail in Winnisquam.
No, absolutely.
And there are
Well, that's what I was
residents that
just thinking, I was
live
just
in
like,
other parts of town that get their mail in the post office at Lockmere. It's smaller than this room.
But they don't have to be a Tilton or Northfield resident.
Correct.
but
And a
don't-
lot of them are not.
Okay. There's a-
in
So
Lockmere, Lockmere
wouldn't
is
there an
totally
address
enclosed within Tilton.
have the
So
So
Tilton zip
Lockmere's
code?
not an issue.
It's Winnisquam.
No,
They're
PO
the
Box
ones up by
125,
Mosquito
Lockmere,
Bridge.
New Hampshire, is
Yeah,
one of my best
Winnisquam's
customers.
PO boxes aren't getting these. You have to have a physical mailer address. So if
A lot of
people,
residents do have pretty open.
They do.
but they should also have like a mailbox at their,
They usually
at
do.
their
I mean,
home
my
or
mother-
apartment or.
She was post
Some people
office.
do not, though.
Right.
They don't, you're right.
But they
just
still have a
don't get it.
physical address, and if they choose to pick up their
No
mail.
mail,
at
but
the
There's
post
no
there's
office-
no
mailbox.
mail at that address.
There's no mailbox.
Well, my brother's a perfect example, he uses a PO box, doesn't use a street address.
Right,
The only people that get his street address is UPS, FedEx, and parcel deliveries.
right.
US Mail does not and will not deliver to his house.
So when stuff is addressed to his house address, he picks it up at the post office, right?
It gets undeliverable.
Oh,
So, again, I kind of fall back on, this is our first survey, this is not Sean's and UNH's. So, as long as we bring it up and make sure Sean is aware of that, there are
Right.
some Winnisquam residents in Tilton that live in Tilton. let them deal with it. That's why we're paying them the money.
Well, yeah, I'm
They're
sure they've
Tilton
done other,
residents then,
the whole
right?
state of New Hampshire's in the
Yeah,
same
like
boat,
that.
really.
Okay,
Well,
because
yeah.
you call them Winnisquam.
This is not
Tilton.
unique to
No.
Tilton North.
No.
Winnisquam is
Although-
an area
Winnow-
like
Winnow- on that.
Suncook, okay? Lockmere is an area within Tilton. Winnisquam just happens to be an area within Sanborn, Belmont, and Tilton. So Winnisquam is, and I'm surprised Winnisquam has their own
Right?
zip code.
I'm surprised too.
Northfield
Because
doesn't.
it's like a
Right.
village.
Right.
It's not.
Well,
They're-
Suncook is a good example.
Exactly.
There's no
Right.
No
physical
such thing
town
as
of
Suncook.
Suncook in the
Right.
state.
It's just an area.
But the post office is Suncook, New Hampshire,
Right.
with the zip code, and
Right.
it's for Allenstown and
But
Pembroke.
it's for the downtown area.
Yeah,
Right.
the downtown is referred to as Suncook, but this happens in
Right.
So
Pembroke, and that
anyways,
happens in Allenstown.
Again, if you guys can bring that up to Sean,
Yes.
let him deal with it.
Yeah,
That's why
we're
we're paying them the
Yeah,
money.
and the
Gotta
PO.
figure
box.
that out.
And
Oh, Nate, it's really fun. I had this conversation with my cousin out in Michigan. I said, when you dial 911 and need a fire truck, and the fire truck pulls into your driveway, what's it gonna say on the door? And he thought about it for a really long time, because he wasn't sure. And he said, well, probably have the township maybe, or maybe the county, you know? Next time I drive by the fire station,
Oh,
I'm
right.
gonna stop by and look. He didn't know, because
So
it
they
doesn't
have
matter. The
townships,
truck
yeah.
just shows
Shows
up.
up.
Right.
I don't care what name
That's
is
all
on
they
the
care
door.
about.
That's
Right.
I don't care what color it's
Right.
driving.
So the same thing with your mail. You don't care what, town it says or zip code as long as it gets delivered.
But we don't want to go into the wrong place.
We don't, right. Right. And so, right, if we just put 03276, we would
You'd miss
potentially
some,
missing
but
those two population centers.
But do those other two zip codes cover people who don't live in the towns of Tilton and Northfield?
No, it is also,
Winnisquam.
Lockmere does not, but Winnisquam.
Winnisquam definitely does.
Right.
Absolutely.
It's Sanborn and then Belmont.
In fact, the Winnisquam Fire Department was in Belmont.
But Belmont has a fire
Alliance,
department.
Winnisquam
Yeah,
Marine.
they
yes,
do.
they do.
Winnisquam Fire Department used to be part of Tilton Northfield Fire Department.
Yes, yeah.
Well, budgetarily it was, but
Yeah.
it wasn't physically.
That seems like
Okay, so
Okay.
Tim's got his marching orders. Thank you, Tim.
Yep.
Straighten all that out for us. And we need to talk about, well, is there anything, the other thing on the agenda was we were gonna talk about space needs. Is everybody up to that, or?
I didn't come
Well, might
prepared.
that change based on what was decided from the survey results?
I don't think so, because what the space needs are, is location independent. This is what we're trying to say the fire district needs, regardless of where it is.
But it's different in two stations than it is in one, because in two
Yes,
stations.
no, they fudged something, they had a little fudge factor on the thing that didn't make sense to me on 1 point something if you had to build it over there versus.
Yeah, but that's money, that's not,
No, it was air square foot.
Because there's
It was- it was
like all the
not gonna make it-
decontamination stuff, if you
It's
have living
duplicated.
quarters at both, then you have the decontamination at both.
I
so that
don't
doubles
think
the
there's
square
any
footage.
situation that we've discussed where we're gonna have living quarters in two buildings.
Right.
We're gonna have living quarters in one building and one building only.
Then why are we asking
isn't
about
one of
living
the
quarters at
questions
Park
in
Street
here-
in the survey?
Because Park Street Station is either going to be a full-blown station, or it's gonna be a garage as it is now, right? Those are the two end uses of that building.
Got it.
If we have a headquarters somewhere else, it's gonna stay as it is, as a garage. Which does bring up a point, at that, if that's the case, do we need 18 days at the headquarters?
or whatever that number is.
Well, no, I thought it started with 14 and then it went down to 8.
I'm
It's
just,
been
It's
played
spinning and
left, right, and center.
yeah, and then the chief came out with a memo that he wanted this over at this station and that over at that station. It was basically we were building two stations. Do you remember that memo?
I feel like
so,
we should just take, like, at the next meeting, we should walk around, like, the ground floors of both stations, get a count of all of the equipment that we have, and then
We
go.
know that.
We know
We
what
have
we
that.
have on it.
Okay.
I think
So-
we need to know what we're doing next.
So,
Well, 'cause
And
I think part
it
of it
was
is
all
like, just
gonna
because we
be-
can
This
fit
goes
the
out in the
equipment in
mail.
Park Street doesn't mean it can,
how long is it?
we can fit it
before
there
it
where
comes
we can
back?
actually utilize it, you know?
That's a
And
good
we
question,
gotta use
because
the-
there is no
move the boat
return
to get
date
the
on it,
truck
so,
out,
so,
like-
you know,
Right, and that's
I would-
why
I would
they did the
assume-
layout differently.
and this is just my opinion, it's gonna be a couple months before we
You
get
think it's gonna be that
data
long?
back.
Oh,
I'm
did
not
we give
sure.
a due date?
I'm not sure.
Please
So
mail
there's
let's,
by,
not.
let's back up then. Is there any room in this to put a
please mail
return date?
by.
Was-
Right at the end.
Was there a, did we ask that question? I thought
Well, he
we
gave
asked
us a range, a typical return was so many % in this much time, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah, I
I
don't
would
know.
think we want to urge it. Otherwise, it could sit on a desk, if it were, it would sit on my desk for a long time if there were no due date.
Well, I guess, back to that then, I don't know, I don't recall discussing that, actually. They're gonna compile data, they'll probably get an influx, they're gonna get an initial influx of it.
Right, initial influx and then
Was there any talk of updates, are they gonna do like updates? Because frankly, I would almost hate, to your comment, if somebody finds it, and they like, oh, it's got
Oh,
a deadline date, I'll just.
Oh, shoot, I didn't do it.
I'll throw up the
it
trash.
away. Yeah,
But
you're right.
if they do it and then
Right.
they send it in,
Yeah.
I mean, UNH will get it eventually, and I don't know if they'll have a follow-up. They're like, hey, we just got like 15%
20,
more
yeah.
of the mailers back in, and
I can ask that question. I'm tending
You
to
might
think
be
that was
right.
the part of that
Oh.
conversation.
right.
That's probably true.
You don't want
because
people
you
not
put a
to send
date.
it in because I missed the
Oh,
date.
shoot, I missed the date.
Right.
But then if you say the results are returned and they show X, and then a month later you answer, oh, wait, remember me? Now it shows Y, and we've taken the horse and we're riding towards X. Then what?
We have to pay UNH to give us the new statistics.
But the thing, well, like I said, they're gonna get an influx. There's gonna be a percentage of people who are gonna get it, fill it
Would it-
out, mail it back in.
They're going to evaluate it once, right?
Would
That's
it be
what-
harmful to include in this last bold statement, please return survey by certain date? Not mandated, please return by,
If we know what month it's going out, we can, say, please return by, end of the month or end
And
of
again, they do
specific
this
month.
all the time, so we will ask the question.
Yeah, because that's the question.
They're only expecting, what was it, 12 or 15% return?
Yeah, it's low.
So 85, it's like,
So 10% of that's gonna come within the first week, because you're gonna get it in the mail and you're gonna sit down and do it right then and mail it back. Or, the
Those are
bulk.
all the people that don't have anything to do.
The rest of us are gonna dig it out 6 months later and go,
they're gonna put it on the clipboard in the bathroom, that's what they're gonna do with it.
Oh, yeah, I never thought
Okay,
that.
I'm done,
Oh,
I'll answer the
yeah.
other questions tomorrow.
I've done that before. Oh, yeah, I didn't do that yet.
okay, so what's the general consensus? Do you want to wait till we get results before we continue talking about space needs?
I think that's relevant. Because if it ends up being 2 stations, you may or may not need the,
But remember, if it ends up being 2 stations, Northfield is going to stay as it is.
Well, I thought we were gonna upgrade it for safety,
Maybe.
the decontamination possibly. That's in there.
well, my point is, if you have two complete stations,
Right.
people living in both,
Uh,
do they need to be identical? Can one of them have decontamination? Because after the fire,
They all have
they
to
can
go
go there
first,
to
and
decontaminate, then go home, or go to
Okay.
to
But what
the
about
other
the,
station.
so all their equipment stays with the DQ?
I
I don't
don't
understand the
know about
process,
that.
and I'm not a fire
Right,
So
that's-
so you
fighter.
guys are leaning towards, if I'm reading this correctly, waiting until we get results of the survey before we discuss space needs anymore.
Well, I think we can look at square footage like we just never finished, right?
Right.
We've got
We're 2/3
halfway
of the way
through, I
through
just
it.
didn't bring my stuff. I was not prepared, I showed up totally unprepared. Actually, this afternoon I went, oh, shoot.
Oh,
but I think you're right. I think if you're going to have, if the survey is gonna say we just want 1 station, we want it down here, Park Street, then that makes things a lot simpler. If the survey says we wanna have a headquarters up here, then now Okay, so now we need to get the firefighters' input with the chief and deputy
But-
chiefs. What equipment do they, to
You're up next.
be functional, having your staffed headquarters up here and having that station stay similar to how it is now with the call firefighters going there, well then how many bays do you need up here? Because if your frontline people are leaving with an engine, then they might, and your tankers gets called because it's a big event, well, your guys are already gone. So it's gonna be is it gonna be your call firefighters that are gonna come so the tanker can stay over there? Those are kind of
They're
conversations that
operational things.
the chief,
That's up to him.
yeah, we need to have him involved, but we can't be deciding how many bays they have here and there.
The other thing we had
Well,
also, oh, I'm sorry, it was your
yeah,
turn.
let's-
So I
Nate's been
think
patient.
whether we do like one station at Park Street versus, do a new station at, Sanborn Road, that's the biggest factor in the number of bays we need, because if, Park Street has to be taken down due to, utilities or whatever, and, the land will kind of control what shape the building can be, where it can be, located, and then, we lose all the bays we currently have if we're
I think the
rebuilding.
only situation where Park Street will get torn down is if a new station headquarters is built at Park Street.
Yes.
Otherwise,
Right.
it's gonna stay as it is. And a reminder, there is decontamination equipment at Park Street now, brand new, 2 years
Oh,
old.
brand new, okay.
So they put decontamination at both facilities, and it was brand new 2 years ago. So, you're up
Okay.
next.
So, I already forgot what I was gonna say before, sorry.
We do that all the
I'm still
time.
on vacation.
We do that all the time, not on vacation.
No, it came to me. We had, at one meeting, had said that we may not necessarily follow the results of the study, of the survey, and that's kind of
May not.
disturbing also.
And ultimately, it's up to the commission.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, if it's all over the place, it's like, well, what do you do?
Right,
You might as well,
right.
you're in the same boat.
But it does help, I mean, we
I
went
think-
through and did the expense, because we want to know what the voters,
I think at the end of the
taxpayers
day,
think.
we have a backstop, we have a fallback, where at district meeting next year, when we propose a $7 million station, people are gonna say, how come it's 7 million? And we sent this out.
Exactly,
right,
exactly.
Yep.
And it does, that takes, and that'll help when we start discussing things, when the commissioners discuss the facilities, it's like, look, instead of, I guess, my biggest pet peeve was when I hear like, well, the voters are, right, we can't get into the minds of every single voter. I mean, we have our circle of influence around each one of us, and we pretty much have common beliefs with that circle.
Right.
But that's what we tend to judge all our opinions on for the most part as human beings, but
How do,
Yeah, I think that's a good point in the sense that someone goes, oh, well, I think, or the voters think, it's like, well, according to the data, what,
Right.
you feel that way, but 60% of, respondents, disagree with you. So I do think it gives us ammunition and questions to answers people might come up with.
I just hope that the 15% that will return it is enough to go on. And how do you,
that'll be something Sean will be able to give us guidance with, as far as, how it relates to other surveys that he's performed. But yeah, it's a valid concern. Are we gonna hear from the 15% that don't want anything?
Well, you can go buy a megaphone and drive around town yelling, fill out
But
your
still,
survey.
even if they all want all there is in 2 bags of chips, that's still only 15%.
right. But I can guarantee you, to contradict what I just said previously, you will probably find everybody who attends the district meeting will be in that 15%. I could almost bank on that.
You're probably right, you are probably right.
But, and I just want to point out that, if anyone else, Paul, it was unfortunate that you weren't at the district meeting, but, we came into that meeting asking for a lot of money. And, in the end, we didn't get everything we wanted, but the district voters were supportive of the fire department.
I was very happy that they were supportive of the new ambulance.
You know, but it goes back to your comment,
You gotta remember, how is a new ambulance being paid for? Out of the equipment and apparatus fund.
Yeah.
It's no money out of pocket, so that makes it very palatable. So let's kinda,
Almost every single article on this past year's warrant didn't affect that. It blows my mind when we argue about them so much, but
well, and I think the more,
That's-
the more important part of the commissioners meeting is that whole discussion that the state is having with trying to get better, proper reimbursements from the insurance companies for the actual costs.
That's gonna be, you gain it here and lose it there, because once they start paying more, where are your rates gonna be? They're going to the attic. You know, that's,
so how do you guys feel about the mandate that, or our goal that was given to us in 2021 by the commissioners? My personal opinion is it's no longer valid, and we need to ask the commissioners for a valid mandate.
didn't we already do that?
I mean, it's we've had the district meeting, so I think there was an officer change, right?
Yes,
Didn't you get a new
one new
commissioner?
Commissioner, yeah.
So, I mean, new year, new government
official.
year, new official, it may be worth getting,
Well, let me read
Guidance.
this, and that
Read
way
it so that we.
you guys, okay. So, this is a Tilton Northfield Fire District Fire Commissioner charge to the 2021 Building Committee. Recommends to the commissioners a shovel-ready plan that can be voted on at the 2024 district meeting for a fire station that meets the district's current needs.
It doesn't apply, because we're not shovel ready.
But they
And
updated
it's
it,
not
didn't they
20.
say and future? We got something.
No,
we used
I
to
never
not
received
have
one.
one. So the facilities committee
Did
recommendation said future,
I think
and then we got this from the commissioners last year.
Because the original charge was right out of the previous committee.
That's,
Well, this
That's
is,
the one.
That's
But
the original.
They updated that.
but there was, shovel ready was
Asked for
removed.
it, shovel ready, yeah.
well, this
because-
is also 2024 district meeting, which we're already past.
Guess what? We
Yeah.
already had
Yeah.
that.
So,
I guess
how do
it,
you guys-
it makes sense for it to evolve, but you can't change the mission every single year, because you'll
Well-
never get to a,
Well, we almost got something, but then it keeps changing. That's the other thing. Because it changes with every committee,
Well,
we've
this is-
discussed it, but I'm pretty sure that,
There was talk, it was,
We
and we
asked
talked
for
about it at
another
a
one,
meeting
whether
we
we
had at
got
the
it or
Tilton
not.
Police Station, about how it applied, it didn't apply, and we
asked for.
almost demanded,
Yes.
get it together and give us
yes.
a direction.
Yes, yeah,
Now, I remember that, but I don't ever recall getting
You
the
don't-
direction.
well,
Maybe,
my first year, this is not my second year, my first year, we came out with a new updated mission statement for this committee last year.
I have my notebook in the car, but I'm sure,
I-
I'm pretty sure that we.
What was it?
I don't
We
know.
did, they came back with another,
okay,
I think. If I'm remembering correctly.
I was gonna say, I thought recently,
Yes, so 6/27/23 committee charge.
what was the date, 6?
As of 6/27/23, there was no charge or mission statement, and it was placed on the commissioner's next agenda.
Back with it. In fact, there were several, there were some items.
I thought it was like,
Well, I think,
I know we requested it.
I
Can't
remember requesting it, but I don't recall ever getting one.
I think we got it verbally and we asked for it in writing.
no, we had it in writing,
It
we
was in the
approved it,
meeting.
I remember doing it.
because I would have put it right up front, because that's our mission.
I think, actually, I got this one from you. We
Right.
photocopied yours down at the other station.
Right, because I always keep it right in the front
Right.
jacket, because whenever we go off path, I'm like, wait a minute, that's not our mission. But I thought for some reason that we did get another.
I thought we did too, because I mean, they brought it up.
Or the commissioners definitely met on it, I know that.
I think so.
Because I think they updated it to future needs as well.
Well, I guess, should it be potentially updated after the survey results come in?
You don't change your mission after you. You know what I mean?
Are
Well, too, I understand
We
what
want
they're
them to
saying
be
to a certain extent. I
informed.
mean,
Well,
if
except
they're
that
gonna
it's
make a
still
change?
it's, I mean, this is a community, I mean, we've evolved since
Day
2019 and 21, 2016. I mean, it constantly changes. I mean,
Which is why we still don't have a new station.
right.
Yeah.
But, you know, I mean,
Well, we've had plans, they've just.
the proposals have gone before we don't have a new station is because the voters, what we put out there is just, I mean, I personally believe that it has nothing to do with anything but money for the most part. And it's, sometimes I almost wonder if, you know, doing this stuff is a futile effort because, I mean, no matter what you put up there, I mean, how do you convince somebody that it's like, look, I want a $10 candy bar. I'm only gonna pay $10 for this candy bar, but it's a $20 Willy Wonka, you know, gobstopper. I want it for $10. Well, you can't have it for $10. It's
Right,
$20.
But in
Next
the
year it's gonna be
meantime, we need
25.
to give the fire department something.
Yeah.
And
Well, we
so
do,
we need to focus on what can we get. No, we're not gonna get the $50 million station. This is what the voters might vote for.
But
Right.
there are people who feel that all you can do is I'm gonna say it ass backwards, but there are people who think that whatever is the thing right now today is the minimum.
Right.
And what it is right now today,
Works. So why change it?
no, I see, I was gonna end up there, but you beat me to the bus stop. So if, for example, you need X, we're told today we need X amount of square feet, we need to have all this stuff in this building, and that is the bare minimum. The problem with that bare minimum is, it's $10 million. And when you start talking that kind of money, you lose people.
Right.
Now, the other, it's kind of our own worst enemy in this case, is that when it comes to facilities, we have complete shit. When it comes to services, we are the best there is. Go anywhere and ask, they'll tell you, I'm
Right.
not. Those are the facts. And when those two things are happening at the same time, convince me I need to spend the money.
How are you gonna improve the services?
Well,
And the
because-
service
because
will
the
not get any better. If it gets better, it'll be,
But don't the firefighters that give you that service deserve a better place to be in?
there's another word. When you start saying deserve,
Well,
you know what,
It's like IT departments. If everything's working fine, what are we paid for? If something's broken, what are we paid for?
Well, at the end of the day, what's going to happen is we're going to be mandated to improve our facility. The state's gonna come in, OSHA's gonna come in, some federal agency is gonna come in and say, you have inadequate facilities, you need to replace them.
how's that gonna happen? What's gonna be
the
the
ADA
kicker?
trigger.
What's gonna happen to make that happen?
When one of the firefighters is injured, or when a member of the public walks up those stairs with the cast iron railing and tumbles down.
I've almost done that.
When a brick
Going
falls off
down.
the building?
Those stairs are horrible to go down because they're not the right stair tread.
But that
I know,
will be the
5'6",
kicker.
I almost have, I almost bumped
Even
my
then,
head.
it's going to be a finite period that you will correct this by,
Right.
and then what is the other side of that? Okay, the date's here and we didn't do it, now what?
Well, you know,
We should. be
in
more-
furtherance of that whole point is it fair to place our employees in a situation that's unsafe? And
Right, those are the
Right,
two issues.
right.
One, we're not ADA compliant, and two, we're not able to properly separate the employees from the contamination.
right.
Right.
But that's today's issue.
Right.
That wasn't the issue when Laconia built their station. That wasn't a thing then. As time goes on, more and more comes in.
I mean,
Because we used to carry our bunker gear, in my case, in the back of it, in my case, in the back of my extended cab pickup, with all that trash on it. And it was there all the time, you could smell it all the
Yeah, but
time.
that's wrong.
Is it?
You might have cancer, you might get cancer.
I might,
Is that okay?
but
No,
I
it's
might
not.
get cancer from something else as well.
Yeah, but I think we have to look at that.
But we're certainly not in those days.
They have the
No.
statistics
That
that
doesn't-
firefighters, their rate of cancer is high, higher than the general
But that's what we're
population.
hoping to glean from this. Hopefully this educates a little bit along with, I mean, we're soliciting opinions and hopefully, because, I mean, we address like ADA stuff in there, not that everybody, not that everybody will read into that as,
Well, I
but,
think one of the other big differences between previous proposals and hopefully this proposal is going to be the interaction with the community, the informational meetings, because when I was commissioner, we had Kyle Barker drop, and nobody came to any of the meetings. Everybody saw that proposal for the first time at district meeting.
well, we had one hearing though, a lot of people showed up. They pretty much blasted every idea that was on the screen and then left and again, didn't show up back up till district to make sure they could vote against it.
So I really think whatever we decide, whatever the commissioners decide, is what's gonna make or break it is going to be the community involvement. I really do.
Absolutely. That's the
I
key
think we
right
all
there.
agree on that, yeah.
Yeah.
And we
So-
were headed down that path, but then it changed direction.
Right. Right.
So to go back to your, the mission that you just read, that was voted on and approved at the July 11th Commissioners meeting of 2023.
So that's a new mission statement.
That is the mission
This is the new
statement
one?
that we approved at the July 11th, 2023 meeting. And you read it exactly how it's here.
Yeah. I don't recall seeing one newer than this.
And what is, does it tell you what it is?
Yeah. The Tilton Northfield Fire Department Fire Commissioners charged to the 2021 Building Committee recommend to the Commissioners a shovel-ready plan that can be voted on at the 2024 district meeting for a fire station that meets the district's current needs.
So we never changed our,
No, they never got
I
up.
could swear we asked for it.
Well, I think prior to that,
we didn't have one officially.
I'm not sure if we
Oh, no,
didn't
we've
have
had
one
one for a
officially,
while.
but I think it was, because when I joined the committee back in 2021, or whenever we started, it was to come up with a building plan for a station, the station at Park
At Park
Street.
Street.
Right, yeah.
Yes, it was.
That
Okay.
was what the charge was,
Yes, it was.
Because
It was
that was
never
a
in writing.
recommendation from the
the prior
2019.
committee.
Right.
Right, but it was never put in writing as his mission statement.
Okay, so does
But we
everybody,
went, okay, so we still need, I think we need an updated one.
Yeah,
Don't we?
at least it needs to say
I think
2025.
the charge at this point is irrelevant. We're here, we've done what we've done, we're gonna get 15% of these back, and this is going to, I think, dictate where we go.
I would hope that would give the commissioners enough public input to
I would
make a
like to see
decision
what-
per the location recommendation.
I'm sorry?
No, I was just saying, I wouldn't necessarily say it'll dictate, but I would like to think that it will inform future decisions. And there is a difference, you know, because like you said, it still comes up, the commissioners are gonna put the stuff out there. Whatever, right, so the commissioners are gonna come up with what's gonna happen. The commissioners are gonna come up with the warrant, that's gonna get voted on at district meeting. Hopefully, this will inform said decisions. It will not dictate. I
That
mean,
gives us info.
I mean, the commissioners can choose to allow it to dictate
Yeah.
what they choose, but, and I'm not trying to mince words or anything.
So
It's like-
isn't, once the results of this are known, isn't our usefulness expired?
No, because we need to make something happen.
Yeah,
That,
Well,
they
I-
make it
They
happen,
make
we
it
don't.
happen.
I guess until the
So-
commissioners
well,
choose
I-
a location,
I
we
guess,
don't have much to do.
to answer your question, our job will only be done if the commissioners say, we're going by the results of this survey, period. Other than that, if they say, look, building committee, this is what the public has said, work within these guidelines or whatever, then our mission will not be
Then it
accomplished.
would become back to us.
Correct.
but we still have Lorero
On the hook.
on the hook. So the thing is, I mean, as far as the facilities committee, no matter what the survey says, if the survey comes back and everybody says, and you know, and the lion's share says, we want one station on Park Street, then it'll go back to that, and then we can say Lorero, you know, we still have money I think we still have money that.
I bet you have not a lot.
Probably not a lot, but I mean, and that'll have to be voted on, and hopefully, we don't, but like Paul was saying, if it comes back and we ask for another $50,000-$60,000 in the end, because we don't have a lot of money left, whatever it takes to actually get these guys to have a design, to take it through, to take it to district meeting based on that, it's like, whatever it comes up, I'm just using that as an example, but if it says, we want one facility at Park Street, that's that. If that's what the survey says, that's what the commissioners charge, that's what we get these guys going, they're gonna, you know, they're gonna forget about Sandbin Road, and they're gonna move out smartly on the single design, or whatever it comes up.
Other than
And then
we'll
when
be part of the community involved.
Right, and then when it goes to hearings and district meeting, and if, hopefully everybody like, yay, you listen to us, hopefully it won't be like pitchforks and axes and stuff.
Right.
And if it is, it's like, well, you know, you guys said.
Right. We'll
So
still
kind
have
of-
to go through the space needs stuff,
We still have to at some point.
yeah,
Yeah.
but it
So-
doesn't need to be now. Well, it could be anytime.
So, I think what I'm hearing is that we want to wait until the survey is sent. We want to ask the commissioners for an updated, because this one is outdated, even if all the wording is the same.
The timing's
The
wrong.
date, right.
And don't put shovel ready. I mean, it has a whole different meaning in the construction world, okay?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, Barack
Yeah.
Obama learned that one.
Yes.
Proposal is probably the right word, because they're gonna vote on the proposal at the meeting, right?
And we'll work on the space needs once we get some of that guidance. Is that what I'm hearing?
Sure.
Yeah,
That's what I'm thinking.
Right. And you guys can, I mean, you guys can almost keep it vague to a certain extent, you know, just articulate how you want us to work within the limits of, you know, the you know, well, we're not gonna work within the limits of the survey, but
No.
however you guys want.
Well, if that's what they decide, right? I mean, if they say, okay, we like the results of the survey, take this and go. You're limited to the results of the survey.
Well, actually, yeah, I mean, well, I guess, so, will you guys wait? I mean, it almost makes sense for them to wait until we get some survey stuff back before they come up with a vision. I mean,
It does, it does.
you
It
guys,
does.
go,
Yeah.
move on, you
Right,
know, go
otherwise
forth
you're
and
gonna make it
process.
so vague
Yeah.
that it's not.
Yeah.
Exactly,
Yeah.
not helpful.
Yeah, let's
Right.
wait, I mean,
Right.
we
Go forth and
decided to
prosper.
do
Oh, wait a
this,
minute, survey says.
let's do that. But the only thing is we, believe it or not, are already running out of time for March.
Yeah, that's
I
what
know
I'm
you
thinking.
don't.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm
But,
thinking.
whatever, I said that a year ago, I said that 2 years ago, and we keep,
But you know,
But let's get the right thing, let's get the
exactly.
right thing.
Yeah, because, I mean, we
So
made a
whenever it's
recommendation
presented-
to the commissioners. Hopefully, the survey response allows them to make a decision, and then we can move from there.
See, another downside is that we only have one opportunity every year to present this, unless they, guess what, have a special meeting, which, guess what, no one will show up to.
Or they're all
And it
show up
costs-
to.
It costs too much money.
Right.
So, what, I don't care personally if it's 25 or 26, when we present, we have got to look intelligent, to let the people know, we did this, we are beyond confident, this is the road to go. We can back it all up, and look, we didn't shoot from the hip here, because we've been doing it, we were gonna do it in 24, oh, we were gonna do it in 25, oh, here we are 26. It's time to go.
Right.
Whenever you do it, you'll get, I think you'll get your most support that way.
And doing it right makes a big difference.
And honestly, if it
Even the
didn't come in
RFP thing,
25,
if we hadn't done it right, I would not
that's
be
when-
comfortable with it.
if the economy up and down affects people's decisions, which I think it does, economy can't sustain the way it is right now. So the economy will crash, interest rates will come down, and 1% on a bond for $5, $6, $7, $8, $10 million is, guess what? It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And that affects people's psyche.
Well, you know, a lot of hubbub that I did hear even at town meeting, a lot of people were complaining about, you know, the idea of a fire station. Because Tilton residents like, well, we got that big bond, we're still paying on the police department, you know, we still got that, it'd be the hell of a time to. So, you know, you've got that sentiment out there, but me personally as a taxpayer, I'm just like, look, I would love to see a new fire station. My thing is I just think it's wasteful. I mean, how many hundreds of thousands of dollars do we keep spending to bring proposals? We spent a lot of money with Kyle Barker brought stuff, when we were working with
A lot
him.
of time and money's been
It's like
spent.
every iteration of this facilities committee cost the town a lot of money, and here we still are. I would think people would be more sick of spending that kind of money.
We've never really gotten input on, you know, previous proposals before creating them before, so hopefully this plays out differently.
Definitely gotta sell it. You gotta figure, the key, we gotta figure out how to sell it to the public.
Well, and I keep looking at this, and I think you indicated this earlier, and you did as well. This is more of to me, this has more information benefit than what we actually get back for survey results. The survey
Right.
results are gonna be good to know, but the fact that even if I didn't fill it out, I got it, and maybe I perused a little bit of it, and so I'm that much more informed that, oh, we're talking about a fire station?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and they're talking about all these different options? I had no
Oh, I
idea,
had no
exactly.
idea.
And I'm thinking the informational meetings are gonna be huge.
Yep.
And,
Yeah.
you know, that's gonna happen at the library, as we had previously discussed, so, when the time is
When
right.
the time's right.
Right, you do have those things going on. The Tilton's paying for a police station, but we're gonna have that Anchorage property come on the books for 2026. We've got, you know, the bond for the energy plan for the school's done this year. You know,
They'll spend it again.
well, they'll spend it.
Yeah, that's-
Okay, so,
It's always
so
something.
we have a
else that-
plan, Tim's gonna take our comments to the,
Yeah, I have one more thing.
Sure.
We had talked about at a previous meeting that list, update of where the committee was at and posting that on the fire department website. And one of the charges for this room was you know, for everyone to look that over and offer any suggestions.
so that was the one that I gave you? Like the timeline?
So we sent that out in an email after that meeting and asked people to ponder it, so we could see if there's any changes we wanted to make before we posted it to the fire department website. So it's
So
just,
was
you
it
know,
a
like
timeline
a,
of things that happened in the past?
Yeah. What steps we've taken, the
Yeah.
2021 building.
Wasn't that on the screen at the district meeting?
I put some things on there, but no, it was a 2-page month-by-month document that showed all the things the committee had. And so it's like a report, you know, an update
Oh,
report
yeah,
from the
because I
committee.
remember I had comments on it.
Yeah, well, I think,
Did we incorporate the comments?
well, that's it.
I'll have to go back through
We
my.
should probably send out the latest version and again, ask everybody to review and send back thoughts or.
I would have missed that reply. I think I do remember receiving that.
Yeah, so there was an update of the building committee. 2024 district meeting review of building committee meeting, Word document. It was sent email to all of us on, let me get back to where it was, on 3/11/24.
I'm gonna send a blast out to y'all too. I'm gonna lose my MetroCast website, email address, so I'm gonna send out my new address either on. I'm making a switch.
I started on that.
I'm
Certain
dumping
things I'm
Breeze
doing,
Line.
Gmail, they're terrible.
What are you
They
going with?
so-
I'm going with Xfinity.
Oh, you have an option?
Yeah, Tilton, they put in, there's like 6,200 customers, new
God,
potential.
I wish Northfield had an
I'll
option.
tell you what,
Wait till,
Breeze
I'm
Line's
waiting for the
electric
co-op.
co-op.
I've already signed up for that.
they're gonna take it in shorts. They're already changing their advertisement stuff, but I can't wait to make the phone call.
They're
It's like,
horrible. They're
please
so
send me
bad.
my box, the box where I pile
Yeah.
all your shit back in it and send
Yeah.
it back to you.
Yeah,
Okay,
3/11 is
so-
when you sent that out.
so,
So where was I? I was not home, but anyway, okay. I'll have to
so
look at it.
if you guys want to review that and any comments, send to everyone.
Do you just want to send out a new version to everyone?
You want me to just?
Which actually is the same date of the meeting minutes of this.
Computer people tell me this. Till about a week ago, when someone sent me something with an attachment, click on it, opens up, and then, actually it's probably 10 days ago, maybe 2 weeks, I clicked on the document, and it said,
Oops, you made a terrible
no,
mistake.
it said something about,
Yeah.
What do you want to open it with?
you can use this for 7 more days. And now when I click on something,
Nothing
7
happens.
days has gone by, so I can't see it anymore. So is something changed in the software world where
Is
you have to pay something for something you used to get for
So
free?
you can't open any like document, like Word documents or PDFs or anything?
So a little red
I'm guessing if you're using
scrolly
like
thing
Microsoft,
comes
then
up.
if you're using Microsoft, then your license might have expired.
What is the most common, I don't even know what I'm talking about. What
Word
is
is-
the most common thing to read?
If you
A
use,
Word document?
if you use
What's the
Gmail,
most common?
It's a DOX or DOC
File, but that,
file extension.
but most of the thing, people read PDFs, and reading
PDFs
PDFs
is
are
a-
free if you have Acrobat
But the
Adobe
thing about a PDF is you can't change it.
Reader.
That
Right.
You need
Portable document
Acrobat
format.
Reader.
is what, that was it.
Okay.
I have 7 days left to use it.
Okay,
Well,
but
You should have
You
This-
allowed that for
this
free, right?
document-
No Acrobat's free.
Yeah.
I'm talking, specifically, this document was sent as both a Word document and a PDF, so you should have been able to open it in Word or some word
Well, if
processor.
he has Word.
I do
It
have
doesn't-
Word.
It doesn't
You
have
have
to be.
Word.
2010.
2000, and it works.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I
they
think so.
forced me into that Microsoft 365.
Yeah, not me, no way. So I bought a tablet
Yeah,
at Best Buy, and I was bitching to the kid that I didn't want to spend a subscription for Word, for Microsoft Office. So you know what he says? Just a second, he punches in a website, pulls it up, $39. No subscription for everything, Word, PowerPoint.
doesn't sound legal.
It is. I went to a website, I bought it, I registered it, it's all legal.
Wow.
I like that, because I'm coming up to freaking expire.
Okay, you could send that to me and I'll do this.
And it
I
has
don't know.
Excel and all the other
Yes,
stuff?
everything.
Wow.
And there's no
And I
restrictions
just
on
keep
it.
updating mine, it's $100 a year.
That drives me nuts.
100
Okay,
years.
so I just blasted that 311 document, which is,
Okay,
it's just a kind of a historical review of where we are today. And I think it was, Tim, the one that,
Yeah.
I wasn't at the meeting, but it
I-
was the one I sent.
I summarized it down to one slide and a few
Okay.
a few bullet points.
Okay.
But
So-
we had talked about posting it as you had sent it with,
Yep.
you know, all those different, out on the, website.
So if you guys want to read that, and if you approve it being posted on the website, just send an email saying it.
Do that.
It's just sort of a, you know, a report update from the building committee.
Yeah, it's pretty bland. You know, it's not controversial, it's just a statement of,
Kind of engineering its format.
Hey, we've been doing something
so,
this year.
at this point,
It's more than they've gotten in the past.
right. So at this point, do you want to schedule another meeting? Or
Or should we wait till we get
1 month, and we can always cancel a meeting?
good schedule?
Yeah, I'm not opposed to scheduling it and canceling it.
Right.
If we don't have any.
How about Monday, May 20? That's 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks from tonight.
May
Sure.
20th?
May 20.
Yeah, I'm good for that one. I got a VA procedure.
The following week is Memorial Day. Do you want to do the 13th, or do you want to do a different day that week, or?
Originally, we
Oh,
were
wait.
the second and fourth Monday of the month. Are we
Yeah, so-
doing monthly now, is what we're
I'll be
doing?
honest with you, I'm getting, you guys probably ought to just schedule one if I can make it, because I'm coming in, my summer's just like stupid right now. Because you just said, oh, well, the May 20th is personal, but May 13th, I won't be here May 13th either. I gotta install the officers at Bedford Post.
So today is the 4th Monday, Lisa, of the month. If we do the 4th Monday next month, it's going to be Memorial Day.
The fourth, oh, yeah.
So the one
Yeah.
after that would be
My
in
only
June,
thing
right?
is,
Which is
June
the
3rd.
First week
Well,
of June.
we were doing second and fourth, right?
Right.
So wouldn't that be June 10th?
The
Well,
second would,
that's 6 weeks. No, that's,
doesn't that give some time for this to come back, no?
Yeah.
yeah, I have my granddaughter's track
Yeah,
meets
maybe
on
June
Mondays
10th.
now.
okay, so how about June 10th
Try to get that, oh, for 5:30?
for
Yeah,
5:30?
I'll leave early.
Okay.
I'm in charge of the
We'll probably
VFW
have that
recruiting
in
tent up at the frickin', from the 7th to the 16th. So if I could arrange it,
Where's that?
we're gonna be, we rented our spot, in the Weirs Beach drive-in. We're gonna be in the drive-ins property,
What was that? Oh, second week?
yeah. 8th to the 16th.
Courtney, next meeting is June 10 at 5:30 PM. That's a Monday. And is there anything else we need to discuss? I don't mind bantering afterwards, I just don't want
Yeah,
Courtney
right.
to have to sit here and
Yeah,
listen to
5
us.
hours, yeah.
Motion to adjourn? I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
Nate seconds it, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. We'll shut this off. We'll shut this off. Thank you all. Great discussion tonight.
Tilton school kids down there at the Legion, that Connex is our